Hey guys, and good morning. Today is a big day, big busy day. It's harvest day. Really, I tried to harvest typically a couple times through the week, at least to spread it out a little so that I'm not having one giant harvest day. But I've been doing a lot of inside tasks like canning and all the stuff that needs to be done but I don't really want to do. So now I pretty much have to harvest everything I need for my CSA in one day. And I'm going to try to harvest everything I need for the farm stand this weekend, which we're in the height of production right now, so I'm sure I'll have plenty. So I'm starting at my big high tunnels today. These are 95 feet long, 24 feet wide, I think. And I think I'm going to start in the pepper tunnel first. Obviously, need to weed, but it is what it is. There's still plenty of food in here, and I think that I have tons of hot peppers ready, which my CSA people will be excited about. If you see this on my face, some kind of flower that I'm cutting is giving me a rash, and I must have touched my face. It was also in my eyeball. That was really fun. Not, but it really itches now. It doesn't hurt anymore. Let's get to harvesting. I think I finally have enough shishitos, which is one of my favorite summer delicacies because there's no good way to preserve shishito peppers. And so we really just eat our fill now. We eat a ton in the summertime and I never get sick of it. And I like to share with my CSA members, and somehow I didn't plant as many this year. Whoopsie. I already made a note that I need to plant more for next year, but yeah, I think I finally have enough. Also, one of my favorite summertime peppers. This is a Marconi. There's a few different varieties. They're pretty much all like this, but I love this one. This is Marconi Red, obviously. I'm pretty sure they have a yellow, and I planted it maybe down there somewhere. Can't remember at this point. But these make awesome grilling peppers. It really brings out the flavor. You know the roasted red pepper in oil? These are great for that. You roast them in the oven until they're dark. It really enhances the sugars that are in the peppers when you roast them like that. And then you can just layer them in a jar, cover them in oil, and it'll keep in the fridge for quite a while. And then all winter long, you have this amazing red pepper that you can put in dips and sauces. I think I'm going to make a big batch so that I can make roasted red pepper baba ganoush, which is basically eggplant hummus. It's one of my new favorite things of the summer. I've been eating it all season. It's amazing. But yeah. I never eat breakfast or lunch on harvest day because I just get to feast while I'm working. I love these little like lunchbox style peppers. They are saved probably from a hybrid, so none of them are really uniform, but they are so sweet and so delicious. It's always a gamble when you save your own seeds, especially peppers. Like, if you're saving tomato seeds, you know for sure that you're going to get a tomato and it's not going to hurt you. It might not be the exact flavor or shape that you remember, but it's still going to be a delicious tomato. Peppers, however, are scary. And this year, I have already done it to myself. I was out picking weeds, or pulling weeds around the peppers outside. And I knocked a pepper off, and I looked at the tag, and it said Nanapino, and I took a big bite, like all the way to the seeds. It wasn't a Nanapino. It was, in fact, the most spicy pepper I've ever willingly bit into. I almost cried. I don't like spicy stuff. I'm a weenie. I like a very mild, like a seasoning amount of spice. So just eating a super hot pepper, I ran back to the house and ate like a pint of yogurt at least. It was like fire. It was like swollen all over my, absolutely not. You guys that eat that, you're insane. But now I'm scared to both give these to customers and eat them, because what if it's spicy on accident? We are about to hit pepper season. So here where I am, pepper season, peppers explode usually about August. Today's August 1, actually. So we're hitting it right in stride. You can see all the different pepper varieties I grow. I love peppers. I grow tons of kinds. I know it's more efficient to just pick a couple and get really good at those, but that's not how my brain works. So I'll give you a little tour. Corno de Toro Yellow, which is kind of like the Marconi style. It's like a roasting pepper. Super sweet. Just tried one for the first time. Delicious. Zulu. I grow lots of different kinds of bell peppers, all different colors, all different kinds. I love it. This is a roasting pepper called Ajvarski. It's got kind of this shape. Super sweet, super thick walled. These are really good to roast and put in oil, like I was saying earlier. We've got banana peppers. We've got the little snackers. Also, super sweet bell pepper that you're not going to see in a store is this one. It's called Albino. I love this one. I grow it all the time. This Jimmy Nardello, classic. More of the, you can tell I really like this shape. But now I'm going to pick hot peppers, and I think I'm just going to put them in one of these buckets so that 100% I do not get them mixed up. Oh my. I hope the clouds stay over all day, honestly, because it is so hot and muggy already. If you add sunshine into how much I'm already sweating, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to pass away. But I did just get this many shishito peppers harvested, so I'm pretty sure I'm good on shishitos. I definitely have enough to share this week. Now I'm about to tackle the jungle. The tomato jungle. Everything in here needs retrellised. Everything in here is probably really thirsty because it needed water really yesterday. But in order for me to harvest the best fruit without them cracking, I needed to hold off because there's tons and tons of ripe fruit in here. And super ripe fruit and a fresh gulp of water just means that your tomatoes are going to crack. So if ever you notice that you have so many ripe tomatoes, and if you're growing them outside and you see a rain event coming, go out and harvest everything that's blushing, because after that rain you're going to end up with a lot of cracked fruit that aren't going to hold in storage, and they're going to have little bugs in them. So I'm going to start working on harvesting in here. I'm going to be eating so many tomato snacks. But if they're super ripe like this, they're not going to hold really after you pick them. So I guess I'll just have to eat those, you know. Anyway, I've got to get busy. I really like this harvester for when I'm picking cherry tomatoes, because I can just stand here and pick right into the container. I finished harvesting all the cherry tomatoes. It's also tomato time. I said it was pepper time. I have a few different varieties of cherry tomatoes just because I love tomatoes, and I wanted my boxes, like I put my cherry tomatoes in these little pint boxes. I want it to be colorful, you know, and I'm not going to dig to the bottom because you've already seen the sun gold, but that's what's in the bottom of this. So I have a sun gold, which is an orange cherry. I have a red cherry. This is Sakura from Johnny's. Black cherry. It's an heirloom. It's classic. Look how big they are this year. And I really liked this one when I grew it in the field, which is why I thought growing it in the tunnel would be better, because it's this shape and these typically get split very easily. So I thought by growing it under cover, I would have a much better time with it because the flavor is awesome. It's called Lucky Tiger. It's an heirloom variety. I originally got it from M.I. Gardener, but it's this beautiful, it's got like red striping, but it's green. So pretty. Bulk majority of them look like this. They're all splitting. So I'm not sure. Luckily, I only had a few plants of it. Like, it's only like maybe an eighth of my total cherry tomatoes. But literally all of them are splitting. I did get a handful, but like I said, I haven't watered this greenhouse. So anytime you water it, which you have to do because it's undercover, it splits the fruit every single time. So while it is delicious, it is annoying. I'm getting big, beautiful tomatoes now. It's a greenhouse variety called Harvest Moon. I'm pretty sure it was brand new to Johnny's this year. And I like it so far. It does have a tendency sometimes if you leave it on the vine too long, it gets mushy, like mealy, like some tomatoes do. So that's not the greatest. But if you're harvesting it on time, I'm not going to claim that I'm perfect all the time because usually I'm harvesting about once a week when really it should be about every 3 days. But progress over perfection, shall we? Well, it's raining now, and I hope it doesn't last very long because I have things that I need to do. If you ever see a person walking around with the hint of pollen and your hands look like this, you're my people. You're a tomato person, and I can spot you out of a crowd. But as of right now, I'm just gonna take what's in the back here and I'm gonna go put it in the cooler and maybe check on my children. Maybe I'll take this opportunity to have a little coffee break, and I'll come back out when it's done raining, because actually I don't really mind harvesting in the rain. Sometimes it's kind of nice, especially like right now because I'm really hot and sweaty, but that's not really conducive to filming it because my camera is not waterproof. So I'm gonna give it a little break. I did turn the water on in the high tunnel and I didn't harvest all the tomatoes, so now I'm just thinking and hoping and praying and wishing that they're not all going to be cracked, because if they are, I'm going to spend a lot of my weekend processing tomatoes, which I need to do anyway. I just keep putting it off because I've got a million other things to do. You know, the snow in June of the cottonwood tree, while it's beautiful, I'm not kidding, it's ruining my life. Ruining my life. I have thousands of cottonwood trees. If anyone wants one, feel free. Come over, dig them up. Never in my life. And this is in landscape fabric. So I have a hole like this big burned out for these leeks. Not only just the foxtail grass that's also ruining my life, but a literal tree. Hundreds and hundreds of trees. But the good news is that I'm successfully growing leeks for the first time. So that's fun, even with the weed pressure. These are smaller ones, maybe the size, twice the size of a pencil. The size of like a marker, maybe. But I have a few that are... This is a tree. Why are you here? I don't want you here. Anyway, want to see my bigger one? But like, look at this guy. I'm excited to have homegrown leeks. And I planted a nice big patch of leeks, actually. But what you see on the top is only the top. I planted them as deep as I could. Some of them like 10 to 12 inches down there. So I should have a nice blanched stem for this fall. Those are going to be magical. But really, I just came to my foxtail grass grove because there are some onions hiding in here. Not only am I growing onions, I'm growing shallots for the first time this year. This one's a little rotty, so I'll save it for me, but I'm sure the interior of this bad boy is just as good. I am having the worst luck with onions this year. I didn't have great germination. I normally do onions from seeds and have the best luck. And this year I did not have good germination, so I panic bought a bunch of sets, which I'm thankful for because I wouldn't have had enough onions to do anything with other than eat fresh. But I am getting these beautiful shallots. I've never even eaten shallots before. They're delicious. Basically like an onion, but maybe a little bit like garlic too. And I'm enjoying them. Not, however, enjoying all this freaking grass. It's 90% humidity outside. I'm not sure if you can tell. It's absolutely disgusting. So disgraceful. But we have onions. I have way more than I actually need, so. But some beautiful shallots. My watermelon rows are looking lovely. They've got tons of little baby melons on them. I'm really excited. I got my watermelons out late, actually. I think I planted them sometime in June instead of sometime in May. But maybe we'll beat the pest pressure that way. All along this front row, I planted ground cherries. And they were stunted in the beginning because they probably spent too much time in the tray. So they were making ground cherries really early, but really small plants. Now my plants are ginormous, but none are really ripe yet. So they're a second wave. Look how tall this is. I mean, it's up here. They're called ground cherries for a reason, because you don't pick them till they fall on the ground. But they're delicious. I was hoping that this week I would have okra. I also planted this late, but is it really late if you're still getting it in the season? I don't think so. So the plants are getting up to size nicely, and they're just now flowering. So maybe next week, if not the week after, we will finally have okra. Gosh, there's a breeze. And that is why you sweat, people. Because without my skin being so sweaty, this breeze wouldn't feel as good. I'm trying to look on the bright side because it's awful outside right now. And I'm about to do my least favorite task ever, and it's picking beans, but it needs done. So bush beans typically put, I like to think of bush beans as like determinate tomatoes. They're gonna grow. They're going to produce mostly all of their fruit at once. You do get a couple different flushes on a bush bean. In my experience, though, it's best about a week after they start making beans. Their second picking, I guess is what I should say, is the best. And I've already had the second picking. This will be the third and probably final. And then whatever is left on the plant You can see all the plants behind me. Whatever's left on these plants, I will just let mature. And that's my seed for next year. I've been doing that for years now. It works out splendid. I will usually plant a few different successions, 2 if not 3, just depending on how much I think that I need. Successions of beans so that I have fresh crops all summer long. And then the last of them I just let live and die on the plant, and then I harvest the seeds, and then that's what I plant for next year. And the fun thing about saving seeds, especially like beans, don't usually readily cross, so 9 times out of 10 you're going to get exactly the bean that you wanted when you save the seed. But also by saving seeds, your plants are getting adapted to your growing region. So each year they produce better and better and better. And I think that this is the 3rd year of saved seed for these. And I'm not sure I've ever had a better bean crop. And so, of course, obviously, eventually it's going to plateau and it's not just going to keep getting better. But that's when you've reached the best, you know? So, I guess I'm going to pick beans now. This is my favorite bean. I've said it before. I'll say it again. She wins. It's dragon tongue beans. They're the sweetest and crunchiest and the best if you're a raw green bean eater like me. Green bean. There is a crop duster is what I'm gonna assume. It's on the other side of my woods, so I can't see it. But they're doing quite the maneuver over there. I think it's a helicopter. I've seen a lot of those this year, crop dusting with a helicopter. Anyway, I'm done picking beans. There are more beans, but I think that this is all that I need for today. Growing up, I basically only ate the basic vegetables. I wasn't introduced to anything, you know, extravagant, just basic salsa garden stuff. So I never got to experience stuff like this. Isn't this magical? This is a Listata eggplant. I'm pretty sure I featured her in last week's CSA vlog, but it's beautiful. I've been enjoying eggplant a lot more than I thought that I would. The other day we ate some just sauteed on the Blackstone, and I swear it tasted like meat. It was so strange. It was good, but weird. Basically, every other way I've been eating it is roasting it and turning it into baba ganoush, which I said that earlier. It's like an eggplant hummus is what I associate it as, because it's just eggplant, tahini, olive oil, garlic, and then whatever seasoning you put in there. So good. If you're a snacky person, I say this all the time, if I was not married and didn't have a family, my hair is not cooperating. If I didn't have a family or I wasn't married, I would never make meals. Like, I would just eat snacks until I die. I'm a snack girl for life. Anything with a dip, I'm there, okay? This is a variety that I haven't picked yet. Eggplants, to me, they pretty much all have a similar flavor. I haven't noticed a big variation. I mainly just grow different ones just because they look different. This one is Aswad or Oswald. I'm not really sure how to say that. It's a Middle Eastern variety from Baker Creek. I'm pretty sure it gets even bigger than this. But isn't this fun? It's like a little pumpkin almost. My eggplants this year have been cranking them out to the point where I'm like, what do I do with all this eggplant? I think that I might try to freeze some, make ahead some baba ganoush and see if it freezes well so that I can pull it out in the winter as a nice little snacky snack. But that's pretty big. Scattered amongst my eggplants, I have some beautiful volunteer watermelon. One variety I know for sure what it is Moon and Stars, because it has stars, and then the moon is the big spot on the back. I am terrified of picking watermelons. I hate it. I hate that there's no definitive way to know if it's for sure good, or at least I have not figured it out. I've done the thump test, I do the dried tendril, and the spot, if it's gold. I need to know if it's for sure done or not, and I just don't like it, because you only get one chance to know if it's good or not, because a watermelon vine really doesn't make that many watermelons. A handful if you're lucky. And if you pick it at the wrong time, how detrimental. But I've also got this striped variety, which I grew. One of my favorite heirloom watermelons is Crimson Sweet. That's the best red one, in my opinion. But I also grew a couple orange varieties that are striped like that, so we won't know until we cut it open. I am gonna have absolutely no problems packing bags today because I get to hang out in the walk-in cooler for 20 minutes. I should really be making my children do this, but I don't think about it until I need them. I just finished. I almost forgot, for one, my camera in the cold room, for two, to show you what I packed. CSA week 9, I think. I don't know. I've lost track of time. I'm doing it 16 weeks. I've got a pound of green beans, assorted sweet peppers. I have to put them in bags this week because I've got hot peppers, and you definitely don't want to get those mixed up. A pint of shishitos, assorted alliums. I've got a couple little shallots, onion, garlic. Big tomato week. 2 pints of cherry tomatoes. 4 assorted large beefsteaks. And 2 eggplants, as well as eggs. I always include eggs in my CSA. Yeah, it's the end of the day. I've been sweating since like the second my eyes opened this morning, and I'm tired. There's my husband creeping on me in the doorway. But anyway, I've got to make dinner. And you want to know what I'm having for dinner? I think, here's my recipe idea. I always make stuff up. I don't follow anything. I think I'm going to take 2 pints of cherry tomatoes. And by 2 pints, I just mean however many I decide. Maybe a couple slicers, an onion, some garlic, a couple roasted red peppers, and put them all in a pan with some olive oil and cream cheese. And roast it in the oven for a good long while. Cook up some Italian sausage. Blend it all up with the immersion blender when it comes out. Put it over pasta. Easy peasy. And everyone in my house will eat that without complaining, as long as I add Parmesan cheese on top. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.